Let's face it, the home theater hobby can sometimes downright be lonely. How many of you know someone in your local area that's into home theater? For most of you, based on comments I've been seeing on Facebook groups as well as on my channel, a lot of you are saying the same thing. Michael, I don't know anybody that's in my local area that's into home theater. I want you to know you're not alone. I made a post a couple of days ago on YouTube stating that very same statement, and so many of you began to respond and say, Michael, I'm there. I feel that and I experience that here in my area. And I want to share one of those with you. Jurgensen reached out and he replied on that thread and he says, man, did I resonate with that title? I felt very alone here in my community. I've tried to post like on Facebook groups or things like that to see if there's anyone in my area, and it feels like I'm alone out here. And because of that, I've been afraid to go to M-Wave because I'm afraid that I'll be like that awkward new kid at school that everyone avoids. I really want to go. I have a zest for knowledge of the space and the community, but I just don't want to be shunned or ostracized or made fun of or laughed at for asking a stupid question or maybe not knowing as much. But hey, if you never go, you'll never know. It just takes a lot more courage for some. But I really do appreciate you and your channel. I've been a subscriber for years now. Well, brother, I wanted to make this video specifically for you. I want to let you know that number one, you're not alone. Many of us feel that same isolation in this home theater hobby. When I built my theater room about 16, 17 years ago, I wanted to make sure I had enough theater seats in here to accommodate people. But as you can see, most of the time when I'm watching a movie, it's me, you know. These 5 other chairs are oftentimes empty. Sometimes my wife will come in here, sometimes my children, sometimes I'll have friends, but a lot of times it's just me. And when I look around the Plant City area, there really isn't any other person that shares the same passion. Maybe one other friend, he's got a small living room set up, but that's it. I don't know anybody else. And so if you resonate with that yourself, I want you to let me know down in the comments below. But I'm making this video because the main reason why I and myself and Ryan Charpentier formulated and created M-Wave, the Midwest AV Experience, we did this 3 years ago, is because we saw a need. I remember going to Ryan's home and I did a home theater tour, became friends with him, and then a few months later he invited me back to come and participate in a side-by-side projector comparison, a projector shootout in his basement. And we had about 20, 30 guys over there. And at the end of that event, although I really enjoyed seeing projectors side by side, that was super cool. I'd never experienced that before. What I got most out of that weekend was just the camaraderie of all these dudes coming together, sharing a common interest. And that just blew me away. And I told Ryan that weekend, I said, Ryan, we've got to figure out a way to open this up and allow other people, especially from my audience, that are interested in home theater, to be able to come to something like this and experience that for themselves. These projector comparisons, that would be super cool, but to get people together and to allow them to build lasting friendships. And so that's what drove and still drives M-Wave today. I want to share with you a couple of personal illustrations of my own experiences of some relationships that I've built through M-Wave. 2 years ago, we started the event, and that year we had a VIP Platinum, a VIP Gold, and then a standard VIP. This year we're just doing VIP experiences to make that easier and to open it up to a lot more of you. But one of the gentlemen that was our VIP Platinum was Rusty. Rusty and I and Ryan became good friends, and we hung out the whole weekend. He stayed with us at Ryan's house, went back and forth to the convention. He helped with setup. He got to know the vendors. So we just had a really good friendship. Well, during that event, I had encouraged attendees to try to find some people that lived in their area. And so I just began to call out the states that were represented there. And I said, who's here from Florida? Cool, raise your hand. Who's here from Texas? When I mentioned Texas, Rusty kind of looked around and he saw that there were several people from Texas. So after that first get together, he went and connected with them and they exchanged numbers and they found out where each other lived. And they're like, dude, you're not too far from me. Why don't you come over and hang out? Let's just do a little get together at my home, and I'll do some demos in my theater room. We'll have some snacks. We'll have some, some drinks, and we'll just hang out for a couple hours. And so Rusty did that. Fast forward a couple years later, I think this was about 6 months ago. Rusty, we've continued to keep in contact. He came year 2, and of course, like I said, we've become good friends over the years. And just a little teaser, Rusty's going to play a big role in M-Wave 2024. We're going to have him on the live stream in a couple weeks, and we'll share all about it. But Rusty reached out to me in a text, and he said, hey, Michael, I think you're going to really appreciate this. Do you remember in year 1 at M-Wave when we began to meet as groups and go to different people's homes to enjoy their home theater, to do demos and such? And he said, I want you to know that we haven't met every single month, but we have met consistently in each other's homes for the past 2 years, since M-Wave, the very first year. That is the essence of what M-Wave is about. I want to share a second story with you. There was another gentleman, again, first year. His name was Claude. Claude was super kind gentleman, got to know him the first year. Year 2, he comes back and we hang out for a while, and Claude even says, hey, Michael, how can I help? I want to help. I love this event. I want it to succeed. How can I volunteer? And so Claude helped out in a big way at registration. He was helping out with some of the vendors and setup. And at the end of that event, he said, Michael, my wife and I have a home out in Utah. I know you love to snowboard. I know your family loves to ski. If you ever have an interest, we would love to have you be our guest. You can stay in our home. We'll do some skiing and snowboarding. We love to ski as well. And we've got some beautiful mountains out here. But we would love to have you and your family, even Ryan and his family, or even if you want to bring both of your families together, we've got a big enough home that we can accommodate that. We'd love to have you. So fast forward a couple months go by, and I think it was about October of last year, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take Claude up on his offer. And so I reached out to Claude. I said, hey, Claude, remember when you offered to have us come and hang out with you for a weekend, a couple days? Is that offer still open? He said, Michael, absolutely. We would love to have you as our guest. Well, when Ryan found out, he's like, well, dude, I want to go. And so we have planned a trip. I actually jump on a flight tomorrow. Ryan jumped on a flight with his family today. And so we're going to meet up at Claude and Wendy's home. And I shared a post about them. They've got a YouTube channel that they've started in regards to building a new home. So this will be another home. And they're going to have a dedicated theater room. So they're documenting that whole process. So I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description to check that out. But Claude, again, is just another one of those examples that M-Wave provided the opportunity for me to build a relationship, a friendship with another home theater enthusiast. Claude's got an amazing home theater that he's building. And I'm sure I'm going to end up flying out there and filming that and doing a home theater tour of that. But I wanted to share those two, and those are just two of many. I mean, I could name tons of people: Scott Newbies, the Nicks, the Tonys, the Marks. I mean, there's a bunch of people that I have met over the past 6 years that I've been doing YouTube. And out of everything that I do, I love the gear, just like you. I love subwoofers, and I get excited about speakers and projectors and theater seats and all this cool stuff I geek out over, and I kind of get like a kid at Christmas. But at the end of the day, what matters to me the most is the friendships that I've established over the past 6 years in this hobby. Or at least I've been doing the hobby longer, but since I've been doing YouTube. And so the heartbeat behind M-Wave, and really why I'm making this video, is I know that there's plenty of you out there that resonate with this gentleman that I shared his story at the beginning of this video. You resonate with the fact that you really don't have many people that can connect with you on a personal level when you start talking about home theater. There was another guy, I just thought of this, another guy, very first year, named John. Older gentleman, super kind, fun guy. I think he drove like 12 hours. He was supposed to take him like 3 days. His buddy said, hey, you're getting older. You probably want to break this trip over in a couple of days. John shows up 2 days early and at Ryan's home, and he's like, I got so excited about this event, I drove the whole way here. And John told me something really profound. He said, Michael, same thing. I don't know anybody in my area. I wanted to come to an event in hopes that I would meet some friends, in hopes that I would meet some other people, that I could talk about my passion for home theater. That, my friends, is the heartbeat of M-Wave. We want to create experiences for you that you're not going to get at any other show. You're going to get things like side-by-side A/B comparisons. We'll do some projector comparisons. We've got TV comparisons. FOMO and Brian are going to be there again this year. They're heading up that room. So they're going to be showing you the latest, the greatest. You're going to have some interactive fun with that. We were in a meeting yesterday with a brand that is going to be there. At least they're looking at being there. They just have to make sure it lines up with their schedule. If they come, that's going to be super, super cool, and I'll share more details about that in a future video. OSD just came on board today. So we're continually adding brands that you can enjoy full Dolby Atmos experiences. We've got the home theater experiences, which is the day before the show starts. That's an additional cost because it's basically separate from M-Wave. It's basically in home theaters like mine in the local Kansas City area. They've opened up their home. You'll spend 2.5 hours there just getting to know them, building friendships and relationships, but also hearing some really cool demos and experiencing some really awesome home theaters. But again, even that, plus the 3-day event, it's all centered around relationships. Here's my request of you. If you can resonate with this, if you're looking for people that you can connect with, I'm going to do some things very, very intentionally every single day to really create an environment that not only encourages but provides opportunities for people to connect. And if you're like me, I know you probably don't believe this, but I'm an introvert. But the reality is when I step at M-Wave, I know every one of those people there. They've flown in. Some are coming from the UK. Some are coming from as far as Puerto Rico. We've got some from Canada, Hawaii, all over the world. And they're flying in because they're there because they love home theater. And so I already know I've got a connection with them. I've got an immediate connection with them. And so it makes it really easy to talk to people. And so I want you to hear the heartbeat behind M-Wave. You're not going to come and look around and never talk to anybody. I promise you, if you're open to it, you will meet some friends and you're going to make some lasting friendships from this. Now, there may not be anybody in your state. That could be a reality. But if not, I guarantee you, the great thing with social media, with phones and FaceTime, you can find some friends and connect with them even remotely if there's somebody that isn't in your area. So my request to you is to consider joining us for M-Wave 2024, June 21st through the 23rd. If you're interested in doing more than just that experience, everything that we do at the show, at the Kansas City Convention Center, is covered under that 3-day pass. But we do have an optional experience. You can choose to purchase 1, 2, or even 3 of the home theater experiences. I'll leave links to those down in the description so you can check those out. But regardless, I want to encourage you to join us. It's going to be awesome. You're going to build some relationships not only with attendees, you're going to build relationships with brands themselves, the owners of these companies, the engineers of these companies. We've got people that are coming to, like even Simon said, man, I'd love to do a seminar. We've got other people that have committed to doing seminars, and so there's going to be an educational element to it as well. But you're going to get to know these brands. You're going to get to talk to the people that designed and manufactured the brands that you love. And you're going to have one-on-one access with them. And then on top of that, you're going to be able to build some relationships with your favorite content creators. Last year, we had 9 content creators there at the show, myself included. And you had an opportunity, and they're super approachable. You know, you can come up to them and hang out and tell them how much you appreciate them, how much you like their videos, and talk about your home theater and your process and your journey with them. And so again, guys, it's literally all about relationships. I hope you'll join us. I hope you'll come and experience the difference at MWave 2024. Hope you guys have an incredible week. God bless, and I'll catch you in the next video.